episode of whatever it is. This is a Fanboys Anonymous YouTube channel. I am Tony Mango. It's been a long time since I've done everything for Fanboys Anonymous, so I figured after I was sent this thing from Callum, who you're probably aware of from Smart Guy Moment and some other Fanboys related things, I figured I would do this. This is on a whim. I have been having a very terrible, if you've been following Smart Guy Moment, I've been having a very terrible past couple of years, but things have been really shaky lately with not knowing what the podcasts are going to be going forward now that Skype is going to be going away and stuff. And I've had a very stressful day of trying to figure that stuff out again. And for I don't know how many days in a row of me trying to figure that out, not coming up with any answers. So usually when I feel very down and something comes in my way like this, I kind of feel like, well, I should put some kind of output out there. It's my poor attempt at being like, well, you can't say I'm not trying, that kind of a thing. So pity party aside, which by the way, if you are interested in helping us continue to do things going forward, if you understand how things like Discord and at OBS and I don't even know what other programs and stuff within DI working on that, if you are familiar with that kind of stuff and you can help us out, then let me know. If you want to help us monetarily, try to sign up for some services that I know could work, but I just can't afford, then there are many ways for you to do that. If you are going to use Smart Guy Moment graphics here, because I don't have one dedicated for fanboys, but subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the like button and all that good stuff there. That all helps out. But direct monetary donations are the best way to, like, okay, well, if those guys need to spend $150 a year for something or $250 a year to be able to just do the podcast again or something, then here's a Patreon pick your poison thing. And, by doing an episode of that, $50 right there, you get that content, whatever it is, plus, you help fund us and everything. Republic TeePublic is where you pick up merchandise, not just for Smart Guy Moment, but also Fanboys Anonymous and Mango Tees. There's the direct thanks button. If you want to toss a little spare change our way, anyway, keep all that stuff in mind. But Pokemon stuff for fanboys is something I've wanted to do more of. If you have checked out we've had stuff in the past recently with a thing for Smart Guy Moment with some Pokemon stuff. I have planned whenever I can, however I can, if I can, to do a big series of what if this particular character was a Pokemon, what type would they be, what if they had a Pokemon team, what would that team be? I did some examples of that with pro wrestling, but I have many, many different examples. I have like a Kirby team, I've got like a Godzilla one, I've got, Marvel characters like Iron Man, I've got Batman, I got Forrest Gump, like there's a lot of different things like that. So if you do like Pokemon content, Pokemon is one of the only games that I really play in any kind of capacity, so that's one of the things we focus on for fanboys. Then let me know, and I can try to figure out how I can do that given the situation of everything. Point being, we're 4 minutes into this and I haven't gotten started yet. Callum had sent me this and just said, like, hey, this is a fun thing, check it out. So I figured I would do this. I'm going to do this on a whim. I have not done any of this ahead of time. I don't really know exactly how this works, but this is called the Ultimate Favorite Pokemon Picker. And the only thing that I do know about this, I did click on this just to see, like, okay, if I click on that, I can get a list of normal types from Gen 1, and then I guess like fire types from Gen 1, and so on and so forth. And it seems to have a list of a bunch of other things here. So like this will be like a team, Pokemon from the grid, take copy into the box or whatever, click the shiny charm, and then click Pokemon to make them shiny. So I guess, okay. I don't know if that makes everything, I guess not, because I would have to click there to make everything shiny. So there's a bunch of categories here, and it's the best setup that I could have as far as like showing it on my screen and all. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to click around here and see what's up. And why is this already freezing on here? Okay, I guess I need to unlock that to be able to do that. Okay, so I don't remember the shiny forms of this thing, of most Pokemon. So I might have to toggle them back and forth and just see what happens and stuff, but I'm mostly going to go by the ones that I do know, and I don't remember every Pokemon's name either, too. I have played all through Scarlet and Violet. I have, Pokemon Go and everything like that. I'm a Gen 1er. I was around when Pokemon was just getting onto the scene. I was in, 5th or 6th grade at the time when that was happening, so I was, the right target audience for Pokemon. And, of course, I remember, getting into the anime and getting into the trading cards and all those good things. And I've got a lot of favorites from Gen 1 that carried on to this day, but then there's a lot that have happened after that over the years I've been like, that's actually pretty cool. And it's in Gen 4 or 7 or something. So I don't even know what my picks are going to be for this, but I figured that's part of the fun. If I just did it all ahead of time, then you would know and I would know, and there wouldn't be much of a point to this, but we're just going to go and see what happens here. I'm going to start on the bottom. How many people really start on the bottom? Let's go favorite Gigantamax, because I actually did not play Sword and Shield. So the Gigantamax things I thought were pretty dumb. Wasn't a big fan of them. And I'm kind of glad that I didn't buy those games because I don't think I would have loved them. Out of this group of these Gigantamax forms, honestly, I'm not a big fan of any of them. I think that the Charizard one looks kind of ugly. Charizard is one of my favorites, by the way. I don't know. I guess maybe the Eternatus one? Kind of like how Alchemy, whatever. Kind of like that's a cake, but I just don't like any of these for the most part. Especially the ones that they don't even change much. At least with Snorlax, you got some kind of an idea going on, but Eevee just gets fatter, so to speak, Pikachu. I don't understand the musical notes for Lapras and all. So I guess we're going to go with the Eternamax. Is that the Eternamax? Eternatus? I think that's what it is. Favorite baby Pokemon. Now, these are super cute. I would probably have, they even give you the different versions of Pichu. Okay. Togepi is always one of my favorite Pokemon, like just in general. So Togepi might not get any other categories here, so I'm going to go favorite baby form. Favorite fossil, let's go into that one. Hate these, by the way. These four, absolutely hate them. So I have kind of an affinity for Omanyte. Back in the day, I had picked the Helix fossil first, and I used an Omastar in, I believe, my first team that I beat the Elite Four with. If I remember correctly, the team that I first beat the Elite Four with was an Omastar, a Hitmonchan, Articuno.
You want to see what's right for you.
Articuno. I want to say, I picked Charmander, so it would have been Charizard. I know the first evolution I picked was Flareon, but I don't think I had Flareon on my team. So that leaves two more spaces. I think I had Snorlax or Porygon. And then I think I had either Zapdos or Raichu. I'm pretty sure that was my team. That being said, despite how I do think that Omanyte is better than Kabuto, and actually like Kabutop's better than Omastar, I actually think Aerodactyl is my favorite of the fossils. So we're going to go Aerodactyl there. And Aerodactyl, the Mega Form, is cool, but I just got to stick to regular Aerodactyl. Oops, I can't do that. Okay, so that's not how you want to select. I skipped over favorite regional form, and there's a lot going on there. Okay, so regional forms I think are very cool. I liked when they introduced that new mechanic. I think that's something that they could use a lot more, actually, to just like expand on things and to do like a, we thought of this idea back then, but we couldn't figure out a way to implement it, so now we're going to do that differently. Like, I still think that Rattata or Rattata or whatever, and Raticate being the dark type makes perfect sense. I'd be like normal and dark. Now, out of all these, there are a lot of them that I don't like. I don't like the Slowpoke variations, for instance. I think Moltres is pretty cool. I think that Zapdos is pretty interesting. I don't really love the Articuno version. So all these, though, the one that I think stands out to me the most as just like the overall best design, the overall coolest, most interesting and all, is Alolan Exeggutor. I actually really like Exeggutor as it is. So favorite new evolution. Let's go. So some of these I like too as well. I like Annihilate. I thought that was pretty cool that they did that. It was cool to see Girafarig get something, even though for Rigoraph, not really exactly what I would have done. Let me mute my thing so you don't need to hear people messaging me on Facebook. The thing with this is actually a little hard because they incorporate the EVs, and I do like them quite a bit. I think that the Blood Moon Ursaluna is pretty cool. I think it's a shame I don't like Togekiss, and I don't really love Blissey and all. Kingdra, I've never really loved the Kingdra design for the most part. I always thought that they could have gone with a cooler thing, because Seadra looks cooler to me, I think. So I think I'm going to have to go Steelix overall, because Steelix, like, Onix should be better. And the fact that it's not annoys me, so Steelix is at least cooler on that front. So we're going to go Steelix like that. Favorite Alcremie, whatever. I don't really have a preference. Let's just go with the cake. Favorite Vivillon. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Let's go. I don't know the names of any of these forms or anything. I haven't bothered to do that in Pokemon Go because I'm like, that's too hard. Too many things. So I guess I'm going to go, I always like blues and I always like whites and blacks. Those are like my favorite colors. So one of these, probably, not this one, but like that one. Maybe that one, maybe that one. Maybe this one's pretty cool. This one's kind of cool. Yeah, I think I'm going to go this one. Let's go that one. Favorite spin to, do they really change? Oh god, they changed like that. I don't know. Does anybody care? I don't think so. Favorite evolution. As cool as Umbreon, Espeon, pretty much all of them are. I'm not the biggest fan of Sylveon. Jolteon's coolest. So I'm going to go Jolteon there. Favorite Pokeball. Oh, they give you all of the different Pokeballs. They have the GS ball in here for how stupid it was. Let's see. I couldn't tell you actually the name of some of these. Now, functionally, I really like the Quick Ball, and I really like these, like, what are they, the Wing Balls and the Fast Balls or something. I liked using these a lot in Legends Arceus. But visually, the one that I like the best is the Net Ball, I believe it is. Either the Net Ball or like the Dive Ball. I think this is the Dive Ball and this is the Net Ball. Visually, I like that the coolest. Now, this, of course, regular Pokeball, that's like the iconic one, so I kind of lean a little bit towards there as well, too. This, I think it's a Dusk Ball. That one's pretty cool. I don't know what this is. I kind of like that one. That's kind of cool. But Gigaton balls, they look really cool. I just hated using those because you couldn't throw them far. So I'm going to have to just go, hey, you know what? I love the Master Ball for what it can do. I love the Ultra Ball for how it's pretty much the one that you should use throughout the whole game as much as you can. But the Net Ball is just the coolest design. That's a Net Ball. Favorite Pikachu clone, we're going to go with not Pikachu itself. I've never been the biggest fan of Pikachu, to be honest. I always thought that Pikachu was overrated. Now, the cutest out of all these, I think, is probably Emolga. Patrice is pretty cute, too. They're all pretty cute in some ways. Morpeko is pretty cute. You gotta love some Mimikyu, Togedemaru. I've always hated the name for it, but it's cute. So I guess I'm going to go with Emolga. Favorite type? I don't really have a favorite type. but I do tend to lean a little bit towards always having some kind of a psychic on the team. Usually, I try to have like psychic, ground, water, and then I kind of fill in the blanks here and there and stuff. Like, sometimes it's really good to have fighting. Sometimes it's pretty much never good to have like a rock or a bug or something for my, my personalities. But I'm gonna have to go psychic, I think. Favorite paradox. I wasn't the biggest fan of these. I thought that some of them were kind of cool. Some of them were kind of meh. Like, I don't understand the point of the Screamtail one. I think they're over-designed in a lot of ways. So Iron Jugulus was one of the cooler ones. Iron Treads was kind of cool. To me, that could have just been an evolution of Donphan. I think that would have been working much better. Same for, I forget the name of this. Fluttermane? Is that the name of it? That's like, it could just be an evolution of Mismagius, or Mismagius, whatever. I did really like using, is it Koraidon or Miraidon? I'm actually forgetting which one's which now. I really liked using that in the game, but I think our Iron Jugulus is coolest, so we go on that front. Favorite Ultra Beast. I am not the biggest fan of these designs either. I don't like how they don't have eyes. Now, I really like using Kartana in Pokemon Go. It's pretty cool. Guzzlord's kind of interesting. Circuitry is kind of cool. Funny enough, I think I'm going to have to go Kartana. I kind of like that idea of like the little origami sword dude. Or sword thing. I don't know what it is. He's not a dude. Favorite pseudo legendary. Now, these are very, very cool. Actually, kind of like all of them. I'm not the biggest fan of, one or two of them here, like Gudra and whatnot. I think Salamence is kind of overrated in a lot of ways. Dragonite's classic. Tyranitar is one of my favorite Pokemon, period. I wish it was not rock and dark. I wish that it was ground and dark, or more so, like, dark and dragon or something. It should be a dragon type. And if you're interested in my, like, redoing the Generations, the whole pitch thing that I've done for the Blueprint project, then you'll see that I switch it over to a dragon type. Garchomp is something that I've started to use in, like, everything. It's one of my go-tos in Pokemon Go. It was one of my main team members of Legends Arceus. Garchomp's kind of ace. Metagross, one of my favorite Pokemon too. Loved Hydreigon. The first time that I ever used that was my playthrough in, Black and White or something. That kind of filled a role that I used to use for like Mewtwo, and it just steamrolled through a lot of the competition. So, big fan of that one. This is actually tough because I would go between Hydreigon, Tyranitar, Metagross, or Garchomp. And we do have some of their more like mega evolved forms. I like Dragapult too, but it's not going to win over these. I think I'm going to go Hydreigon. I kind of wish, maybe we'll come back to them at some point. Favorite regional bug? Let's see. None of them are particularly awesome in my mind. So I guess I have a little bit more of a soft spot for Caterpie. Favorite regional mammal? Again, definitely not Yungoos. Hate that one. Out of all those, but it was kind of fun. Galarian, Zigzagoon, and all those are kind of fun too.
You can personalize just about anything with embroidery. Here I'm adding some botanicals to my shorts, but they could be added.
Kind of fun too. Let's just stick with the original. Let's go over Rattata. Favorite mythical. I wish I could have used Zeraora at some point. I haven't played Sun and Moon, and it doesn't seem like I would have gotten it anyway. Mew, always got a soft spot for Mew. Arceus is cool. Love this form of Shaman. I used a Victini in my playthrough for Black and White, and I thought that was like one of my favorite members of the team. So Victini's got a little soft spot for me. I kind of like Meltan and Melmetal. I don't like Zarude at all. Darkrai's pretty cool. Celebi's cool. Jirachi's super cute. Underrated as far as list of like cutest Pokemon and all. I do hold more of a soft spot though for Mew, so I gotta go Mew. Favorite box legendary. Here's where we can give a little bit of love to some of the other ones too. So I could go Arceus. I could go Primal Groudon. I really like. Yveltal's pretty cool. Lugia, Ho-Oh. Always really loved Ho-Oh. Might have to come back to Ho-Oh for another thing though. I think we might have to go Arceus. I might have to make these changes. Favorite regional bird. The classics are classics for a reason. Talonflame though, one of the more solid ones. But I think, despite how Corviknight is very, very cool, and I forget the name of this, Kilwatro or something like that, that's pretty useful and all, I think that just the viability of Staraptor pushed that over the edge for me. It was like, okay, this is like the good Pidgey, so we will come back around to this at some point then. All right, so now we have the actual grid. I'm sure 9 out of 10 people that have done this have done the grid and then they go down to the bottom, but hey, we're doing something different. So normal type Gen 1, we're already at an impasse. Because how do I pick between Ditto and Snorlax? Those are two of my top 10 favorite Pokemon. And I can't pick them for anything else either. We're gonna go back to that one. So Gen 1, for the fire type, it's Charizard. All right. Now, does the shiny charm thing make? How do I? Do the shiny charm, then clicks Pokemon, make him shiny. Okay, so shiny Charizard. That's cool. Water type. Oh, I have to undo this one again. Gotta do that for every single one of them? Okay. I could go in a couple different directions for this. Big fan of Blastoise. Psyduck is always a lot of fun. Always thought Krabby and Kingler were kind of cool, but can't go with them. Gyarados and Lapras, Vaporeon, all really good options. So out of those, though, if I had to only be able to pick one of them, then I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to actually bounce around. Ice type, out of all these, I'm going Lapras. So that means I don't have to pick Lapras for water. Now, flying for Gen 1. I could go Gyarados there, and I could be kind of cheeky and do that. And I might do that. I never really think of Gyarados as a flying type. For the most part, like, I tend to just think of it as like, okay, that covers my water type. I do love Blastoise, though, and I think overall I got to give Blastoise the water. And then I think for now, I'm going to go flying for Gyarados. We might have to come back around to that. Grass type. Never was the biggest fan of a lot of the grass types. I think Oddish is one of my absolute favorite Pokemon, but Executor's here, so I gotta go Executor too. Electric. Here's where I go with between these two. It's either Jolteon or it's Zapdos. I was a big fan of Zapdos from the start. Always really liked Jolteon for the start. So since I went with Jolteon for my favorite Eevee, and Zapdos is on the list only under flying, because I'm not gonna give it the best like box art, or it wouldn't be box art anyway. Or if I feel like legendary or something, I'm gonna have to go electric for Zapdos. Fighting type. I have grown to really like Machamp more. Hitmonchan was my favorite at the start. Hitmonchan's actually one of the Pokemon that made me want to get Pokemon. When I had seen a friend of mine playing the game, and he had chosen Hitmonlee, and he showed me, oh, I could have picked this one or that one. I was like, oh, you should have picked this other guy. I like this guy better with the boxing gloves. So I do have an affinity for Hitmonchan, but Machamp has been like my boy through Pokemon Go. So I've grown to really like Machamp more. I hate to do that to Hitmonchan. I wish it was better, but yeah, Machamp. Lots of poison types in Gen 1. And I never understood why the ghosts were poison. That just never made any sense to me. So I do love the ghosts, though, and I'm not the biggest fan of most of the other ones that are here. Like, Nidoking is very, very cool and could potentially get this. Nidoking are actually like Haunter better than Gengar, but since there aren't really any ghost types to pick, so we're going to go, I like Haunter better than Gengar, we're going to go there. So we're going to go Nidoking for the poison type. Now I could have gone Oddish as well, but there's somebody else for ground that I'm probably going to pick. And out of all of these options for ground, I always liked Rhydon a lot. I always liked Onix a lot. I always liked Nidoking. If Nidoking was blue instead, actually, does that give us an option for... There we go. So blue, poison type, Nidoking. Ground, though, I'm going to go Onix. I always liked Onix a lot. Always thought that Onix should be a rock dragon type.
You ready? New the Brow Glue Crazy Lift. Up to 24-hour lamination gel.
Onix. I always liked Onix a lot. Always thought that Onix should be a rock dragon type. Now Psychic. We're going to go with the boy. Yeah, Mewtwo is, he's the man. Bug type, not a lot of options here. Always really liked my Butterfree until it became not viable, but Scyther is the coolest looking bug in Gen 1. Rock type, here's where we've got a lot of overlap with the ground type. So I'm not actually the biggest fan of some of the different types that are popping up on there. So here's what I actually might do then, funny enough. I'm going to go Onix for rock type. I'm going to go Nidoking for ground for poison. I'm going to throw Oddish in there. And then we're going to make Nidoking a shiny again. Oops, wait, do not want to do that for... Actually, what are the different shiny colors for some of these? Some of them are super ugly. Yeah, there we go. I have to revisit that in the future. So, Dragon type in Gen 1. Always liked Dragonair better than Dragonite. Dark type in Gen 1. We don't really have it, so we have Missing No. I actually love Missing No. I think Missing No is super cool. So, we're going to go put Missing No in there. Steel type, Magneton. Fairy type. Jigglypuff was always really fun. I always really liked Jigglypuff in the anime and everything. So, and screw Mr. Mime. Nobody likes Mr. Mime. Starter, we're going to go, well, technically starter, you would pick just those, I guess. But for the sake of it, let's just go Charmander because, yeah, I picked Charizard for something else. Gimmick form out of the Gen 1 types. Ooh. Well, as much as I love the Gengar and like the Alakazam and a couple other ones, this version of Charizard was very, very cool. Love this Blastoise, but it's a little too simple. It's kind of almost what Blastoise should just be normally. And they didn't make a steel type. I think that would have made that even cooler if that would have been like, okay, well, we're now going to add the steel type to it. So we're going to go with that form. Was it X? X or is it Y for Charizard? I don't know. Legend. We got to double up again on the Mewtwo. And then favorite from Gen 1. Overall, as hard as it is to be like, okay, well, oh, actually, I didn't pick on the normal one. So unfortunately, I got to go Snorlax over Ditto, which sucks because I really love Ditto. I would replace like a Scyther on this thing with Ditto if I could. So out of the, or, Dragonair. Actually, we're going to save the favorites to the end. So we are only one out of the 9 gens down. I'm going to try to speed run through some of these as much as I can. So Gen 2, we've got the normal types. And none of none of them were really all that amazing in my mind. I actually was really disappointed with like Dunsparce. I hated. I kind of like Hoot Hoot. Teddy Ursa is kind of cute. Miltank's all right. I still think instead of Igglybuff, it should have been an evolution of Wigglytuff called Bigglybuff, where it becomes like, very buff and everything. So I think I'm going to just have to go Miltank. And actually, I'm going to bounce around a little bit more. I'm going to go normal types all across the board. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just stick gen by gen. Okay, so Gen 2, fire types. I picked Cyndaquil the first time that I played the game, and then I grew to like Totodile more. I actually think that Slugma and Magcargo are very cute. I think that Houndour and Houndoom are pretty awesome, and I wish that they would have given Houndoom another evolution where he's got like the Cerberus 3 heads. I think that would have been the best way of doing that, but Ho-Oh holds a special place in my heart. Water type for Gen 2, Marill is one of the cutest Pokemon. Wooper is very cute. Suicune, pretty cool. For Alligator, big fan for Alligator. Overall, though, I think I gotta go Marill. Grass type, I am certainly not gonna pick Chikorita. Don't like Chikorita at all. I don't like that line. I think Hoppip is pretty cute. Blossom's pretty cute, but Celebi gets that electric. I wish I would have liked Raikou better, but I just didn't. So, funny enough, even though Ampharos was on my team when I pretty much got it and all, overall, I think that I didn't really love the Ampharos design, so I'm gonna have to go Mareep. Ice type from Gen 2, it's gonna be an unpopular opinion. I think Delibird's kind of great. So, fighting type for Gen 2, I don't really like any of them. Let's go Hitmontop. Poison type, let's go Crobat. And let's see, ground type from Gen 2. I do like Donphan. I do like Wooper. There's Steelix again, though. And Steelix was one that I was very much like, okay, now we've got this Pokemon, now we can do that, I'm going to use that on my team, that's going to be my go-to ground type and all that. So I think I got to go Steelix again. Flying type from Gen 2. Skarmory is one that I wish was so much better, because I think that that's such a cool design, and I think that that's something that, if you could buff that, that should be a Pokemon people would really like. I think I'm going to have to go Lugia. Give some love to Lugia. Psychic type, I could have gone Lugia there. I do like the unknowns, though, and nobody gives love to the unknowns. So out of the unknowns, let me give one of them this win. I kind of like the H, kind of like the O. Let's just go with the O, I guess. I don't know. Bug type, Scizor or Scizor. Rock type, oh, that's where we get to pick our Tyranitar, that's cool. Ghost type, we have no option there. Dragon type, we have no other option. Dark type, that's where I can throw my Houndoom in there, very nice. The Steel type, I'm already doubling up on things. I guess I could do Skarmory. Yeah, I'll do Skarmory. Fairy type. Doubling up on things as it is. Togepi, though. Starter, we're going to go Totodile. Or, well, for Alligator. Gimmick form. Let's go Mega Steelix is pretty cool, because they didn't even do the 3 heads for Mega Houndoom. Legend. Ho-Oh overall, I do still like better than Lugia. We're going to go Gen 3 now. Wow, we don't really have a lot of options for the normals. I actually don't really like any of them. Kecleon, I guess. Maybe Castform's kind of cute. Spinda. Spinda reminds me of my wife, so maybe I'll get Spinda. I guess it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme, right? So let's just go Spinda. Fire type for Gen 2. Not a lot of options. Let's go Blaze again. Water type, we are going to... I like Mudkip. I think Wailord's kind of funny. I like Melodic. And Kyogre. Wish I liked Sharpedo more. So out of those, I've actually used Swampert a lot in Pokemon Go. It's one I go to, once to battle with and all. If Kyogre had a cooler overall design, I think I would lean more towards Kyogre. But I kind of like the water form of Castform. Kind of cute. I guess let's just go Mudkip. Grass, a lot of people love Sceptile. I'm not the biggest fan of Sceptile. Funny enough, people are going to hate me for this probably. I think Tropius was the design that made me go like, oh, okay, cool. This is like a grass flying type. I like that. Let's go Manectric for the electric. Let's go for ice. We'll give some love to the Castform for that. Fighting type.
You want to see what's right for you.
Hariyama. I could have gone Blaziken right then. Is there any other ones for... Nah. Poison type. I don't really like any of them, to be honest. Even like Viper is just like, you're just another Ekans. So I guess we're going with, was it Roserade? Roselia? I forget the name. Ground. We've got Groudon. There we go. Cool. Flying. I could double up on some, but we got Rayquaza here. Now, actually, what do we have for Dragon? Dragon. We have the Latios, etc. Not the biggest fan of. I actually think that those two and Togetic should be like kind of merged together. So we're just gonna go Dragon again. So maybe Flying. I can pick another one. flying, and it could have been Tropius. Can we do another grass? Different grass one. See, that's kind of cute. So let's go flying Tropius. There you go. Psychic. Here's where we gotta go Metagross, right? Jirachi's in there. Oh, wait. Like pick Jirachi for Legend, right? Yeah, let's go Jirachi for Legend. Gimmick form. Primal Groudon is one of the coolest ones. Mega Blaziken's pretty cool. Mega Metagross, like that quite a bit. But I do like regular Metagross better, so we're gonna go Primal Groudon. Let's go back to this bug type. Not a big fan of any of them, so let's go Shedinja, not Jinjask. Rock type. Those passes so ridiculous. The Lunatone, kind of like, but I do like Aggron. Let's go Aggron. Ghost type. Let's go Sableye. I like Shuppet too. What do I pick between those two? Dark type. Let's go there first. I wish I liked Absol better. I like Mightyena. But I guess let's go Sableye there and let's go Shuppet for there. Now we back over to the Steel type. Oh, I can actually go Jirachi for Steel and Legend. I can give that to... Why is the Lugia here? I guess it's like Pokemon Ranger or something like that. I guess I'd just be doubling up, so it's either Jirachi or it's Metagross. Now, technically speaking, I do think of Metagross more when I think of, like, if I wanted to add a Steel type to the team, because you don't really get an opportunity to add any other ones. Like, you can't just normally add Jirachi. So, maybe I can switch up. I don't think I need to. Fairy type. Ezreal's always cute. I don't really love Gardevoir, but I guess we're going to go Gardevoir. And starter, I think in the grand scheme, I probably would have picked Mudkip the most. So we're back around now to Gen 4. 39 minutes for this video already. So normal type. Arceus. A lot of people love him for an ape. I'm not the biggest fan. I'm going to go Rotom. I might end up going for that for a multiple here. Water type, I did get... when I went through this game, I picked Piplup first, and I grew to like Empoleon, but I'm not the biggest fan of Empoleon. So, out of these, I think I gotta go Rotom again. Rotom Wash is kind of fun. Let's go the grass type. I do like Leafeon. I do like Torterra. And I do like Shaman. I mean, the Rotom Lawnmower is pretty fun too. Shaman, was it Skyform or whatever? I think if you pick that for, like, Fairy, where's Fairy on here? Really? No? That's not Fairy? I thought it was Fairy type. I could have sworn that was Fairy type. Alright, well, I don't like either of these two. So I guess we're gonna go Togekiss. And then Legendary. Overall, we're gonna go Arceus. Different forms. I think that probably Mega Gallade. Sure. Starter. Let's go Piplup. Actually, let's go Turtwig. I like Turtwig the best out of, like, the originals. Like that. So we're backtracking a little bit, sorry. What was this under? Steel. So Steel out of this group. I do like Dialga. I kind of like Lucario, not as much as everybody else does, but I think I'm going to go Dialga there. Dark. Spiritom's pretty cool. Darkrai's cool. One of those two. I think we'll go Spiritomb. Unless Spiritom's my option for... No, I have Rotom. Okay, Rotom. I like Rotom a lot. Dragon. Maybe that's where we give some love to Garchomp. But I do want to make sure I switch that. Oh, wait, no, that's not changing it to... yeah, I thought I changed it to black. That's right. Well, yeah. Still slightly better. So, rock type. We've got, I guess, Rhyperior. I really love Rhyperior. I like Rhydon actually better than Rhyperior. Bug type from this gen. Not a lot of options, but I like Combee. It's kind of cute. Psychic type. I don't like the Mew clones, as I call them. I kind of like the idea of Cresselia, but we're going to go Jigglypuff there. Cute. Flying type. Maybe that's where we give the Sky form of Shaman. Ground, we're going to... let's go Torterra for that one, just because I didn't pick Torterra for anything else. Not a fan of the poison types in this gen. I guess Drapion. Fighting. I already picked... Did I pick Glade for something? I'll pick Lucario. We're on Ice. Let's go Glaceon. I do like Abomasnow, but let's go Glaceon. Electric. I could go Rotom for that. I do like Luxray, though. Luxray's pretty cool. Let's go Luxray. And we're back around to Grass. So Grass, I did pick a couple of these other ones that I don't need to come back around to, so let's just go Leafeon. Our Gen 5, normal type. What is this? Why is this on here? I don't understand what that is. Okay, if you know what the hell that is, drop a comment. Normal type in Gen 5. What are these? Yeah, what are these things? Okay, yeah, that's from a game that I never played or something, I guess. So I guess we're gonna go Braviary. Sure. Fire type. I would have normally, if you would have asked me 2-3 years ago what I would have picked for this, I probably would have gone with Victini, or I would have gone with Tepig. Now I hate what Tepig evolves into. I hate the monkeys. Not a big fan of Darmanitan in that whole form. Beatmore, ugly. Larvitar, ugly. Volcarona, it wants to be a legendary, and it's not. Reshiram, ugly. Hate this legendary. But I've grown to really like Chandelure. That's become one of my go-to fire types Pokemon Go. Let's see, water type for what about Gen 5? I don't know. I'm debating between a bunch that I'm not the biggest super fan of. So let's go, I guess. I did use a Seismitoad in my playthrough for quite a bit. So I guess let's give some love to that one. Grass. Never was the biggest fan of the grass type. And I like Maractus, in theory. Never would have used it in a team or anything. Ferrothorn can be kind of cool. Let's just go Maractus. I like that they gave it the name. Maracas Cactus. Makes sense. Now we got a Emolga in here. I liked Zebstrika, Zekrom. I wish that I liked the design of Zekrom, but I don't. So I guess we're going to go Emolga. Ice type. You might think that I'm crazy, but I like the ice cream cones. What's this? Fighting type in Gen 5. Not a big fan of almost any of them, to be honest. Who is this? Like, who are these characters? I don't know. Let's go Throw, I guess. Poison. Man, I do not like a lot of Gen 5 types. I guess we're going to go Trubbish. And at least on the ground. Now, I might go, it kind of depends here. Dark and ground. We're going to get some overlap going on here. So let's just do Dragon. Dragon, knock that out of the way. That's going to be Hydreigon. So I don't have to pick that for Dark. Which means for Dark, I still don't recognize these things. It's got to be from some weird game. So Dark, I can then go Crocodile. I like Crocodile a lot. And then ground, I can give that to Excadrill. That's been another one of my go-to ones that I've been using a lot. So the flying type. Actually, let's give some love to Sigilyph. I think that Sigilif's kind of interesting. But now we could have picked that for Psychic. Let's go Victini. Didn't pick Victini yet. What's this Bug? Bug for this group is not great. Durant's kind of cool. Wish it was better. Crustle, kind of like Crustle. I like the Joltik and Galvantula lines in some ways. So let's go with one of those. On the rock side, Gigalith. On the ghost side, now I could have gone the fire option for that. Was there any that I liked better? Potentially? No. So we're going to go Kofagrigus. Yeah. And we're on Steel. Maybe people are going to think that this is blasphemous. I like Klinklang. I guess let's go. What has it got? I think it's one it got, right? Starter. Tepig, I do think is the cutest. And then what is this? Gimmick form? Again, no idea what's going on here with these things. So, and what is that? What are any of these for the most part? Ugh. Let's go with some kind of Tyranitar thing there. Legendary. This is a bad group of legendaries. I'll say that. So, I guess we're going back to Victini again. Gen 6. Lots of options for some Paparinos, if you like those. I've never been the biggest fan of Furfrou. So, normal type on this gen. They're giving you the Megas as well. I guess Mega Kangaskhan? It's a weird pick. Fire type on Gen 6. Now we've got overlap with some of the other ones for sure. I am not a big fan of any of these. So now's our opportunity to pick, I guess, another form of Charizard. I do like Greninja. Greninja's pretty cool. We might have to come back around to there and pick Blastoise because I don't remember the dark options. What are the dark options? Maybe Yveltal for that? What are the flying options? Let's go back around and let's do this one by one like that. So a lot more flying options under there. And that's where... Alright. So we're going to go Blastoise for this. We're going to go Greninja for dark. We're going to go Yveltal for flying. Ghost is probably one of the easiest options to just go through because there's not many ghost types. So Aegislash and Double Blade and all them, I haven't had an opportunity to use those yet. I think that I might end up liking them better once I am actually able to use them. I think Trevenant's pretty cool though, so I think we're going to have to go Trevenant for that. But I might go with that on the grass type side. Now I do like Skiddo and Go-Goat. I used Go-Goat on my Scarlet and Violet team, and I was a big fan of that. Chespin's cute though. I'm going to go Chespin. Electric on this gen is most likely going to go to Mega Manectric. Ice type. Let's go Mega Glalie. Fighting type. I keep clicking on that. Fighting. You would think that I would go with Mewtwo, but I don't really love that design. Holucha is kind of interesting. Let's go Holucha. Yeah, I'm a pro wrestling fan. Poison type, not a lot of options. Let's go Gengar though. But actually, let's switch that because I do remember that I like the shiny form of that. So that's pretty cool. What's the shiny form for some of these other ones? Nope. Yeah, that one's pretty cool. Nah, let's go save with the original. Kind of like that. Kind of like that too. But let's not. Yeah, let's go with that form. switch around some of these. I do remember liking that better. Nope. And why didn't the shiny form of this make this like chocolate ice cream? Wouldn't that make so much more sense? Yeah, so we're clicking through here. Not many that I think I would keep the shiny for more. So I think we're gonna just call that and not bother with that for a little while. What are we on? I lost track already. The ground type. It's a ground type from this group. I do kind of like Zygarde, so let's pick Zygarde. Psychic for this gen. I didn't get a chance to pick any Alakazam type things yet, so maybe I'll go make Alakazam. And another bug for this group. Let's go make a Beedrill, I guess. I guess Scizor's kind of... maybe that, that's gonna be a Beedrill. Who the hell ever picks Mega Beedrill, right? And run says Rock.
Create your ultimate summer escape at Ashley's Summer Savings Event with hot buys for every room.
And run says Rock. No, I haven't picked a Tyrantrum yet. Dragon type, I could have picked Tyrantrum there. No way for it. In the grand scheme, does this really matter? Probably not. So Steel type from this gen, I guess now is where I can give some love to, was that Aegislash? Fairy in this gen? Probably Xerneas. Yeah, go Xerneas. Play this gen either, so, as much as I think Chespin is better than Froakie, and I like Greninja better than Chestnut, I think I'm just going to say it all washes out, and Greninja is the one I like the best when it comes to the starter. Gimmick form, we're to these again, so what's something that I haven't picked yet that I could spotlight a little bit? I guess maybe the Mega Metagross. It's not going to win favorite Pokemon, I can tell you that. Now, Legendary on this generation, let's go Zygarde, the complete form. Alright, Gen Sun and Moon. Normal type. Stuffle's very cute. Beware's ridiculous. Part of me does kind of like Toucannon just because it's so simple. Trampa's kind of funny. Come back around to that. Fire type on this gen. Let's go Incineroar. Water type. Let's go with... I don't like the Mega Greninja Ash form thing. I don't think that's like... I don't get it. So I guess we're going to go some starter love. We come back around to that. Grass type for Sun and Moon. I already picked Mega Executor, or Alolan Executor. So let's go Rowlet. Or actually, Decidueye. Actually, let's skip right to the starter because I'll go Rowlet for that. Fairy type on this gen. Let's go Mimikyu, maybe Tapu Koko, maybe Ninetales. What are the ice options? I do like Sandslash though. Let's go Sandslash there. And then, I guess Fairy will go... I don't trust that yet, so it's gonna go to... Where's Ghost on here? Ghost. We got the Sands. Yeah, I gotta go Palisand. So we're back around to that again. Dragon types in this gen. We're gonna pick Zygarde, we're gonna pick Executor. We'll come back around to that again too. Steel type. Solgaleo could be an option. Meltan. Legendaries. I do like Cosmog. But I do like Necrozma. And would I pick anything else other than Necrozma for Psychic? Man, there's a lot of overlap. Alright, we're gonna go Necrozma for Psychic. Let's pick a Volt for Bug, obviously. That was an easy one. I like the Minior versions for the Rock. They don't have the shiny of that, do they? Is this the shiny for... No? Where's the shiny that has like all... It's like the black version of it? There we go. That's one I like the best. So we're back around to this again. Wait. Could I pick something else? With Rock? So this is a flying type. Okay. So flying. Let's go Toucannon. Back around to the ground type on here. Maybe I can switch these up a little bit too. Let's go Mimikyu for Ghost. Let's go Palisand for ground. Let's go... there's this Dark type. Dark type, there's not a ton of options, so I guess we're going to go Guzzlord. No, we're going to go Incineroar for that. Let's come back around to the fire type. Actually, I don't want to double up on that. Okay. We're just going to double up on Incineroar, I guess. So we're back around to Dragon. Now I can just pick my Executor again. Oh well, if we have overlaps. Fighting. Now here's where I can go with a little Stuffle. Poison. I don't really love any of them. So I guess we're going to go Muck. We're back around to Electric. Electric could be Zeraora, I guess. Oh, we didn't do the normal? So normal. I guess let's go Drampa. And then let's finish this out. We've got Steel. Let's go Meltan. And then Fairy, we can go Ninetales. What's this one? Gimmick form? Out of the gimmicks. Let's go with the Marowak. They tried something different there. And then the legendaries, we're back around here. I guess we'll give a little bit of a boost to Cosmog for being cute. And again, we'll come around. We'll do our favorites of each. And then we'll finish things out with a team. We're just about done here. Let's see. Gen 8. A generation that I didn't play outside of Legends Arceus. So, I guess we're going to go Wooloo. Which, by the way, I always thought that Wooloo and Dubwool, there should have been a Steel version of that. Steel Wool. Makes sense. Very disappointed in the starters for this generation. So, when it comes to Fire type, we're going to go Colossal. Water type. Overall, though, I do think Water type... Urshifu's Water? I didn't think that. Water type for this gen, I guess still Inteleon, although I don't like a lot of the starter ones for that. Grass type, I did use Decidueye in Legends Arceus. I ended up liking that one quite a bit. But I'm probably going to give a bonus to Flapple. Electric. I don't know the forms of Toxtricity, so let's just go with the Gigantamax, I guess. On the Ice type, not a lot of good options there. I don't even know what I would have picked in this gen for like an Ice type. I guess I would go Avalugg. I don't know. That's not winning anything. So what, fighting? Yeah, fighting on this gen. I guess we're gonna go Zapdos. Poison. Let's go Eternatus. Yeah, let's go there for now. And not a lot of options that are great on the ground side of things. Some of them I actually really liked, across the board, but this not a great gen for ground. I guess we're going to Stunfisk. Flying, let's go Corviknight. Or, do I pick? We might come back around, we might switch Corviknight around. What's this?
Came through drippin', came through drippin', diamonds on my wrist, they drippin'.
Welcome, everyone, to the debut episode of On Par with Maury Povich. Now,
Come back around, we might switch Corviknight around. What's this? Psychic? Okay, Psychic. Don't like the blip bug line or any of that. Hisuian and Braviary. Now we're in the bugs. Gotta pick a bug. Cleavor. I don't think I would ever use it on my team or anything, but let's go Stunjoner. Some cool designs when it comes to like Poltegeist and all, but overall, Dragapult is going to be my favorite on the ghost side of it. On the dragon side, I think we're gonna overlap actually. Yeah, let's go Dragapult. And Dark, we've got Moltres, I think. Yeah, let's go Moltres, that's pretty cool. Steel we're on, so Steel. Here's where we could go Corviknight. And then switch Corviknight out of Flying or something else. But there aren't really, I'm just double up. Okay, so really doesn't matter. Fairy on this group. Let's go with the Weezing. I mean, I do like Milcery, but yeah, let's go Weezing. Starters. Just for the sake of it, I'm going to say Rillaboom. What are we on now? Gimmick form? Lots of gimmick forms here. So, for the most part, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to be doubling up on some things here and there. So I guess let's just go the Eternatus, Eternatus form, Legendary, and I guess on that front, we'll just go with Moltres. It's probably one of the cooler designs. So now we're in Gen 9. The normal type for Gen 9. I'm going to lean more towards Smoliv. I think Smoliv is very cute. Fire type. I gotta go with my little stupid idiot starter, but I think I might end up picking him on a starter type. Where's starter on here? Yeah, so I gotta go. I just named him Bob Class. If anybody has Bob Class stuff, you might know what I'm talking about. So we're back around to here. So let's give some love to. Now, you know what? Actually, I do kind of like that we get the forms of the Tauros line, so maybe we'll go on that front. I kept my Skeledirge throughout my entire team, beat Elite 4 with him. Very good Pokemon to use for that. My water type in the games was Veluza. So I'm going to go Veluza there. I did not have a grass type that I used in the Elite 4, but if I did use one more than any other, it was Ogerpon. I actually liked using Ogerpon quite a bit, so let's go there. My electric that I used the most was easily my Bellibolt before I got the Miraidon. It's one of those two. I think I'm going to come back around and put Miraidon on something else. So, did not use an ice type in the game. And wasn't a big fan of any of them to begin with. So, if Delibird's got a knockoff, let's go Delibird. I hate admitting this, but I used my Flamigo more than almost any other Pokemon in the game. It's so stupid. I hate it in a lot of ways, but I ended up kicking ass with it. So, it gets some bonus points for me. Poison type. Did not use Poison type at all throughout the game, other than Clodsire, which I used quite a bit. So, good boy, Clodsire. And on the, ground side of things, I would go back around to Clodsire again, so I'm going to go Iron Treads, I guess. Now we're on the flying type. Now we could have done the fighting type for that. I actually used Iron Hands a lot in the terror battles and all, like the raids. So I guess we're going to actually switch these around and give some variety going on. Psychic. I did use Veluza. Ended up not being one of my better Pokemon. So we're going to not give that an extra boost. Let's go Armarouge, I guess. On the bug side of things, I didn't use any of these. I hated them all. As soon as I got rid of these, I was so thankful to get rid of them. So I did catch a shiny Lokix. Maybe I'll just give that a thing. You know, I don't love the shiny for it, but hey, if I'm gonna pick something, whatever. On the rock side of things, I kind of liked using the little sugar ones. I used Goldengo quite a bit once I got a Goldengo. I don't know if I put that for Steel, though. Yeah, let's go Steel for Goldengo. For Ghost, I liked the Bramblecast and all. Let's see, this is Dragon, right? Dragon types. Go right on there. This is Dark. None of them I was particularly fond of. Let's go Iron Jungulus. Fairy will go with the Doughboys. Is this what gimmick form? Let's go with this cute little Wooper. Now we got legendaries. Didn't like, really hated, didn't really love, thought it was okay, hated, liked using it, but didn't really like the Pokemon, same thing. Not the biggest fan. So we're gonna go with this by default. And now we need to pick our winners across the board. So this might be difficult. Alright, so favorite for Gen 1. We might do that last. Let's go in reverse. Favorite from this most recent gen. Okay, so out of all these, the one that I would say I would probably carry over into another playthrough. I really liked Goldengo's gimmick of getting the money, but I don't really love Goldengo. I really liked battling with Miraidon. Flamigo, it happened to be like one of my strongest ones, so I can't vote for that. Good little stupid crocodile boy, get some points, but it's not going to beat some of the other starters and all. Bellibolt's cute and all. I think I gotta go with good old legendary. Let's go with the generation that I didn't play. And all things considered, I probably wouldn't carry any of these over except for maybe Corviknight and Dragapult. Unless it was like, we gotta give it a certain circumstance or something. Like I didn't use Colossal, really, for the most part, in Gen 9 and so on and so forth. Once I got Cleavor, I never bothered to use it. So I guess Dragapult. Didn't play Sun and Moon, but I have used some of these in different teams.
You want to see what's right for you.
Used some of these in different teams. Big fan of Palisand. I like that idea quite a bit. Alolan Exeggutor, I think, is one of my more favorite forms of anything that they've just played around with. I like the Sandslash a lot, quite a bit too. Let's go Palisand. Heliorth X and Y is one I also did not play directly. But of course, some of them have carried over elsewhere. And with that, I'm going to probably say my favorite would be... Oh, that's tough. I got a feeling if I were to play with the character, I probably would like Zygarde the best. Black and White. Now, this one I did play through, and I liked my Crocodile a lot. I thought that Emolga was super cute. I really liked playing with Victini. I was very disappointed with Tevig when it eventually evolved. My Vanillux was one of my go-to Pokemon. I don't even know what this Tyranitar version is or whatever, but Hydreigon was my ace for the most part. On the Sinnoh side of things, this is mostly through Legends Arceus that I can speak about, and it's between Rotom, Garchomp, and Arceus. Now, Arceus seems like a little bit of a cop-out, so it's between Rotom and Garchomp, and I think overall, just pure design and interesting and all, as much as the Land Shark is really cool, Rotom, I think, is what I just like better. Hoenn is between Groudon, Metagross, and Jirachi. Now, Mega Groudon, or Primal Groudon, I should say, is another one of my go-tos. Jirachi is super cute, one of my favorite legendaries. Metagross, if I knew what it was more, I think I would like it a little bit better than these two. That's a very close call, but I think Primal Groudon wins. Gen 2, I gotta go Ho-Oh. I mean, I love Togepi. Absolutely love Togepi. Ugh, that's tough. It's between those two. Togepi. Gen 1. Charizard or Snorlax. As much as I love Mewtwo, and I think missing that was kind of great, it's between one of these two, and I only own a plush of Snorlax. Man, I hate that I couldn't pick Ditto for something. Alright, so out of the normal types, let's go Snorlax. Out of the fire types, let's go Charizard. Out of the waters, let's go Blastoise. I like this form the best out of that. Sorry, Meryl. Grass, I'm going to go Exeggutor, most likely. Yes, I'll go Exeggutor. Out of the electrics, let's go... Now, this would have been potentially Jolteon, if I would pick Jolteon under that option, but since I know I already picked Jolteon for the evolution, pick Jolteon there, and that's what you get. So, without that, I guess let's go Zapdos. Ice types, we're going to go with Lapras. Sorry, Delibird. Fighting. Let's go with Champ. Poison, we've got... overall, I like Oddish the best on that. This is Ground, so we're going to go Steelix or Nidoking. So Steelix. Flying. Gyarados. Psychic, we're going to go with Mewtwo. Bug, not a lot of great options here. I wish I could swap some other ones out, but that's not how it works. So let's go Scyther. We are on Steel. Is this where? Is this Rock? This is Rock. So under Rock, let's go Tyranitar. Ghost. We'll go with Rotom. Dragon. Let's give that to Hydreigon. Dark. Let's go Hydreigon. Or is it Iron Jungulus? Okay, so never mind. So we're gonna pick something different for Dark. That's going to be Crocodile. Steel. Metagross finally gets a win here. Togepi for the fairy types. Starter-wise, as much as I hate to do something as simple as it, Charmander was my first. You never forget your first. This is what, gimmick form. Gimmick forms, I think we're going to just go with this form Charizard. That's what I wanted to see. It was supposed to be Dragon type. And then we got our favorite legendary. There was something so cool about Ho-Oh. Yeah. And then it was this like the ultimate favorite of everything. Alright, well, I can tell you, some it's not going to be. Not going to be Tyranitar, not going to be Scyther, not going to be Crocodile, not going to be Zygarde, not going to be Blastoise, not going to be Dragapult, not going to be Zapdos. It's probably down between Snorlax, Charizard, Togepi,